Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about the Google Home device that you have in your possession. Before we begin getting into how exactly to set up your Google Home device, let's talk a little about what exactly is your Google Home device. So for starters, Google Home is a voice-controlled virtual assistant developed by Google that also functions as a speaker. It's Google's version of the Amazon Echo speaker, also known by many as Alexa. Your Google Home can do many things for you, such as play music, it can give you the weather forecast, you can set reminders and alarms, you can try and make calls with it, or you can even have it tell you a joke, which is pretty neat. It's important to note that your Google Home doesn't have any kind of internal battery, which basically means it's going to have to be plugged in order to be used. Okay, so now that we have a little bit more of an understanding of what your Google Home is, let's take a look at your actual Google Home device and get ready to set it up. Let's talk about what side is the front and what side is the back. So, if you look at your Google Home device, notice one side is very smooth, the other side has a button on it, okay? You'd think that the side that has the button on it is the front, but this right here is actually the back. So this part, if you see the button, you don't want the button facing you. This is the part that's going to be facing the wall. This part that it's clear, it's smooth, it has no buttons, this is the front. Again, the back of your Google Home has the button on it, okay? The front is nice and smooth. There's no buttons to press. We're not done assembling your Google Home just yet. Let's go ahead and grab your charger. Charger will look like this, okay? I'm going to go ahead and set it down for right now, right next to our Google Home. So what we're going to do is it's going to require both hands. First, you're going to go ahead and grab your Google Home, and you're just going to carefully lift it upside down, okay? Notice, here on the bottom, it's a rubber base. There's only one little hole for the charger. Now with your other hand, go ahead and grab the charger. This is the part that's going to plug in directly to your Google Home. What we're going to do is we're just going to go carefully and gently to slide it on in. It might require a little bit of pressure, but no problem. Not too much. So now that I pushed it in there, I can go ahead and now feel, if I feel around the rubber end, I can tell that the charger doesn't interfere with the rubber base. So now the Google Home has officially had its charger plugged in. And now what we got to do is we got to go ahead and decide where we want to plug in our Google Home device. What room in our home do we want to connect it to? All right, so now that I've gone ahead and found out where I want to plug in my Google Home, I'm just going to take the base, plug it in, and now I'm going to go ahead and hold the back button a little bit, and notice it's powering on. And it's slowly turning on and on and on. You'll see these lights. Soon you'll see it change a whole bunch of colors. There it is. So this is a sign that our Google Home is powering up right now, and that it's almost ready for us to set it up. Before we begin setting it up, I do want to quickly mention that our next step may be a bit different depending on the device type that you're using. For example, as you can hear, the Google Home is turned just on right now. So, as I was saying, for example, I'm going to be demonstrating how to use the Google Home on an Android tablet. And to do that, I'm going to use an app called the Play Store. All right. If you're using an iPad, the steps later on will be exactly the same. The only difference is instead of using that Play Store app from Google, you're going to be using the App Store from Apple. All right. That's going to be the main difference. And remember, once your Google Home is done powering on, you're going to hear it make a sound. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and turn my tablet on here. Here I am on my home screen. Again, I am using an Android tablet, so I'm going to look for the app known as the Play Store. It's this little blue it's this little multicolored triangle down here. Okay. For you, those of you using an iPad, you're going to look for the app known as the App Store. We're looking for the Play Store. You're going to use the App Store if you're using an iPad. So I'm going to go ahead and touch the Play Store app. And here it is. I touched the Play Store. Now the Play Store is open. Next thing we're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just look to the very, very top of the screen, and you're going to see a bar that says search for apps and games. All right. Go ahead and just tap there to bring up your keyboard. And sometimes it takes a little bit, but there it is. There's my keyboard. Now that my keyboard's up, I'm going to go ahead and just type in Google Home app. And once I finish typing all of that in, if you look to the bottom right in the middle of your keyboard, there's going to be a blue button right here. I'm going to go ahead and touch that to search. And boom, these are our results for the Google Home. It says Google Home right here. That's the symbol that's going to appear on our tablet. If you look towards the upper right corner, there's going to be a green button right over here. And it says Install inside the green button. Go ahead and touch that Install button. Notice, if you look to the left side, the app is currently being installed into our tablet device. It should only take a moment. Okay, now that it's installed, you'll see a green button on the right side that says Open. Right over here. It'll be in the same spot that the green Install button was. Once you've found the Open button, go ahead and tap it to open up your Google Home app. So, now that we're in the Google Home app, look to the bottom right and tap the blue button that says Get Started. It's going to be right here. Notice, a list may pop up that says Choose Account. Depending on how many Gmail accounts you have, this list may be longer or shorter. Your list might just have one account if you only have one Gmail connected to your tablet device. Select your Gmail account from the list and tap the blue OK button on the bottom right side. So here's my list. I'm going to go ahead and tap my account, and now I'm going to go all the way down here, and there's that blue OK button. I'm just going to lightly tap it. So here it's asking for our location access. The location access is needed to detect nearby Wi-Fi and Bluetooth signals and determine your location during your home and device setup process. Go ahead and touch the blue button on the bottom right that says Next. Now that we're giving our Google Home access to the device location, you're going to want to go ahead and touch Allow. So now that we've waited a bit, notice the screen has changed and it says our Google Home has been found. So what do we do from here? Well, now that our Google Home has been found, if you look to the bottom right, there's a blue button. Go and then it says Yes inside. Go ahead and touch that blue Yes button to set up your device. So I'm connecting now my Google Home to my device. Did you guys hear that sound? That sound let us know that the tablet is connected with the Google Home. If you didn't hear it, don't worry. At the very bottom, there's a blue button that says, yes, you did hear it. There's also another button that says retry. Go ahead and touch that retry button if you didn't hear your device get connected to your Google Home. Now that we've gone ahead and heard our sound, let's go ahead and go to the bottom right. We're going to touch the blue button that says yes. This message pops up, this new screen. It's asking about additional terms and legal terms and things like that. You're going to want to go ahead and in order to use the device, you're going to go and touch that blue agree button on the bottom right down here. On this new screen called Help Improve Google Home, you have two options. You can either click the blue button on the bottom right side of your screen to send your device's status to Google, or you can select no thanks on the bottom left side to decline. Declining isn't going to negatively impact you in any way. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit no thanks on the bottom right side next to that blue button. So now we're being asked where the Google Home is. There's this list that appeared here. You can select the location of the device by tapping where it is, and then a blue button will appear that says next. So for me, I'm going to just look down my list, and you can scroll it up and down. I have mine in the kitchen. So I like to listen to music while I cook. I'm going to touch kitchen. Once I touch kitchen, notice a little blue check mark appeared. Kitchen is also now blue. And on the bottom right side of my screen, there's a blue button that says next. Go ahead and touch that. So now it's asking to connect to the Wi-Fi. If you notice, there's a list that appeared on this screen with all the Wi-Fi networks in my area. And it'll happen for you as well in your area. I'm going to go ahead and select mine. You'll want to select your Wi-Fi. Once you've selected your Wi-Fi, tap the blue button on the right. And here's mine, and I'm going to go ahead and touch next. Don't worry about having to input the Wi-Fi password again in order to connect your Google Home. As you can see, Google Home can automatically get your Wi-Fi password from your tablet device. Tap the blue OK button at the bottom right of your screen. Right down here. And touch OK. Now we wait for our device to get connected to the Wi-Fi. Perfect. So now that we've gone ahead and connected with our Wi-Fi, we're now on this new screen. It says before using your Google Assistant. You could read this if you'd like, or you can just directly go down to the bottom right, and there's this blue next button right down here. Go ahead and touch that to move on to the next page. So, on this new screen that says activate voice match on this device, go ahead and for now tap on no thanks on the bottom left side of your screen. So on the bottom right, it would say next, but we don't want to do that right now. Let's go to the bottom left, and there's blue little words down here that say no thanks. I'm going to touch those. And here comes my message. Are you sure you don't want to set this up right now? I'm going to just say I'm sure, because we don't need to do that right now. So here, it's asking on this new screen, get personal results. I would go ahead and just, for now, go ahead and touch I agree. That's okay. We're just gonna, this little message popped up asking us again if we wanted to set up the voice match. I'm not doing that right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and click go ahead. So on this page here, it's asking us, or our Google Home is trying to offer us 14 days of ad-free YouTube. YouTube is a video streaming platform. We're not going to sign up for those 14 days because after those 14 days, they're going to try and bill you. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to be paying for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and go down to the bottom, and there's the redeem button, which is blue. There's also a little one down here that says no thanks. I'm going to go ahead and touch no thanks. You may arrive at this page after declining the YouTube Premium. It's asking, what are the things would you like to do right now? Would you like to add more home settings? Like, do you want to listen to the music or the radio? Do you want to watch movies and TV shows? Do you want to call friends and family? I'm going to go ahead and start us with listening to the music and radio. Right down here is the blue next button. I'm going to touch it. I'm going to go ahead and again and touch that blue button that says next. So here, this is a list of music services that we can choose from to use with our Google Home. If you have an account with any of these other apps already, you're always welcome to select it, and then you'll be asked to sign in to connect that account to your Google Home. Or if you don't, you can always select YouTube Music for free, and then just go ahead and hit next. After you've selected your YouTube Music that's free, it's connected with your Google account, because as soon as you created a Google account, that's what you use for YouTube. Now it's asking us to link any radio services. You can, for this section, you can go ahead and just touch Not Now. Right at the bottom, right down here, as you can see, it says Not Now. Go ahead and touch that. And then here, it's asking us if we want to start staying in touch and calling our family and things like that. For right now, I'm going to hit Not Now. This page here, Stay in the Know. I would recommend also hitting Not Now or No Thanks right down here at the very bottom. If this, like the other features, the other settings I've been showing you guys that I've been hitting Not Now for, those you can always go back in your settings later to add them. Just for the purpose of setting up the home, your Google Home right now, we're just going to go ahead and skip those, okay? So now that I'm here, you can add a payment method if you want. Not going to do that. Then it tells me my device is connected. We have YouTube Music, my Wi-Fi set up. I'm going to go ahead now, and at the bottom right, I'm going to touch Continue. And now it's telling me my speaker's ready. So again, I'm going to go ahead in the bottom right, and I'm going to touch that Continue.
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant. I'm here to help.
And now it's telling me my speaker's ready. So again, I'm going to go ahead in the bottom right, and I'm going to touch that Continue.
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant. I'm here to help. To learn a few things you can do, continue in the Google Home app.
And as you can see, just like that, our Google Home is basically all set up. All we can do now is we can go ahead, and at the bottom right, there's a little blue More button. We can go ahead and touch that. And here's just a whole little list of things that we can do to get stuff done. We can set alarms, we can get answers, we can ask it to tell us a joke, etc. These are all things that I would say play around with your device once it's all set up. Now let's finish setting up our device by touching on the bottom right where it says Finish Setting Up. And voila, our Google Home is officially connected, set up, and it's ready to go. I hope you all were able to follow along with me and to see you shortly practicing with that. Good luck.